Okay, it's recording. Hi everybody, just giving an update. This is going to be kind of a long video, so guys just chillax, sit down, eat your popcorn, whatever. And don't look at my hair, because I didn't brush it. So just like look from here down. Anyways, so as you can see, we've had our little bundle of joy. She was born on Friday, December 21st, so just like 6 days ago, and on her due date, she was due that day. We had been trying like at least 2 weeks ahead of time to start, you know, labor earlier. We tried like acupressure points, and then spicy food, and then
we went all around several malls walking around.
Tried to make her walk. We tried everything. We were just gonna give up. Like, we just stopped.
We gave up.
Yeah, so we just didn't do that anymore because it was so frustrating. It's like, why does it work with some women and not, you know, all of them? But whatever. She was supposed to come when she was supposed to come, so we're happy that she at least came before Christmas. I wanted to have a little bit of time before Christmas, so. So what happened Thursday night, all night we had been watching movies until about 2:30, and we had no idea, you know, indication that she was going to go into labor.
The day before, I was actually in tears at the doctor's office because I wasn't dilated very much. It was only like 1 or 2 centimeters.
And we're like, we're never going to have her. She's going to be pregnant forever. Like, we might as well just get used to having a pregnant woman forever. So, yeah, she was frustrated. I was frustrated. And so Thursday night, we went to bed about 2:30. And then 2:45, for some reason, it just...
I was doing my relaxation, and I had a couple of contractions, and I felt kind of wet, so I went into the bathroom where my water broke, and it was more like a leak. It was a couple of tablespoons maybe, and so I told Danny, I was like, you might want to give your mom a heads up that something might possibly happen soon.
So I knew something was different because we had gone to the bathroom. We do everything like before going to bed, and then we laid down. She started her relaxation. I was just laying there, and all of a sudden she gets up and goes to the bathroom. I'm like, uh-oh. I knew something was up. So I asked her if she was okay, and she's like, you might want to call your mom. So I did. And my mom was already at work at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I said, you might want to give a heads up. We're probably going to go to the hospital here later on. I thought we'd have time to go take a nap because we had been up all night. So I was like, yeah, I don't think it'll come right away. So we'll just take a nap, and then we'll call and go to the hospital. So she's like, okay. So I called my friend and let her know the same because we had a couple people who wanted to be there. So then
they got strong really fast, and it got to the point Danny was trying to get the hospital bag all ready to go, and I laid down, but by that time I knew I wasn't going to get any sleep. So
I know, we were just like, we laid there for probably 5 minutes, and my mind was racing because I was like, oh, I gotta pack this, I gotta pack this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. Oh, she must be in pain and everything. So there was no way in hell I was gonna get sleep. So I just got up and started packing everything because I knew we'd end up going pretty soon. So she was at the point where she couldn't talk during contractions quick. Like, I know they have a few small contractions where, you know, it's not too bad and everything, but she got to the point where she was laying on the middle of the floor, like.
Well, and I was trying to stay relaxed too because that was part of the hypnobirthing thing. So yeah. I would be talking to Danny, and then one would start to come on, and I would just lay down and like shut my eyes and lay there.
Yeah. So, and then so I told my mom, I called her, I was like, you might want to just get over here because they're getting strong quick, and we timed them, and they were already at like 5 minutes apart for a while.
Within that first hour.
Within the first hour.
They were like 5 minutes.
I was like, this isn't supposed to happen. It's happening so quick. I don't know what to do. I was like walking in circles in here in Serenity's room trying to like figure out what to do. And on Facebook, I got a lot of people who were like, you know, encouraging me to just relax and to just be there when she needed me. So,
oh, I got diarrhea too.
Yeah, it was like instant. Like, it was like you didn't even know. It was just like there. Your body knows what to do. Like, just diarrhea, and it was just weird. But So we called our midwife and we called our friend. We called my mom. So
we called the doctor and they said to go ahead and come in. So we went to the hospital. I went into labor at like 2:30. Danny's mom got here at like
3:30.
And then we went to the hospital about 4:30.
It was about 4 when we got to the hospital. And then they instantly just...
After that, I've got no concept of time.
Yeah. Well, we got there and they, you know, asked her questions, checked her out, hooked her up to the monitors, watched her contractions, listened to her heartbeat, and did all that and everything. They checked her and she was already at 7 centimeters. I was like, wow, that happened quick. So, yeah, and she was having pretty strong contractions at that point. I didn't know what to do, and then we're waiting for the midwife to get there, and she was supposed to meet us here at the house, but we knew we weren't going to wait that long, so we ended up meeting her there at the hospital. But then, so you got in the bath, the birthing for tub, the laboring.
Yeah, they had to transfer our rooms, but I got into the birthing tub because the contractions were getting pretty uncomfortable at that point. So I thought that the water would help kind of take off that pressure. And I was having back labor, and that was probably the worst part of the whole thing, was the back labor, because it just like your whole lower back just hurts. Like when you have cramps and you have that back pain, it's like that times 10.
Yeah. So I was just encouraging her to relax, and she was so uncomfortable, it made me sad. I was like, it hurt me so bad just to see her like that. But I was like, are you sure you don't want an epidural? I know you want to do the hypnobirthing and everything. And she's like, no. And then went into another contraction. So I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I know we had a birth plan and everything, but that just, it goes just however it goes. Like,
it helped. We did get through it all naturally. I didn't do any, I didn't do the epidural or any other drugs. The only thing that I had... She just went in like a
champ. She just, bam, whipped open her legs, bam, came the baby.
Yeah, just like that.
Just kidding. No, not exactly.
They did use like a local anesthetic when she was coming down the birth canal to, I guess it was supposed to help numb the opening.
Yeah.
I don't think it numbed it any, but...
Yeah. Whatever. She's like encouraging it. She's like, yeah, you should do this. And I was like, whatever. I mean, it's not like it would affect the baby or anything.
Yeah,
so.
It was something local. It wasn't put into my system or anything.
Yeah.
And then I stayed into the bath until they said that I could stay in there until I had the urge to push. So about the time I had the urge to push a little bit, I got out, and then it was still probably another few hours that I was on the birthing ball. And I used Danny for support, and then since I was having such bad back labor, the midwife and a friend of ours one of them pressed on my hips and then one pressed on my back to take that pressure off. And those contractions got pretty intense, and then by the time I really wanted to push, they had me move up onto the bed, and I labored on my side.
It worked for her. She wrapped her arms around my neck. I was in a chair like this, and then she was on the birthing ball in front of me, and she would just wrap her arms around my neck and just put her head against me like that.
I really liked the ball.
Yeah. Because, you know, it wasn't too hard on her, and it was, you know, so she did that. We did that for a while, and then she got up on the bed, and they checked her again.
And having somebody there to take the pressure off is a lifesaver.
So if you're planning on doing it naturally like that,
have
at least one person pressing on your hips or pressing on your back.
Whatever feels
because
right.
She like got to the point where she was like yelling for the for our friend. She's like, okay, Rachel, contraction. She pushed on my back, and so she did, and that's what got her through them. So, and I was just like freaking out because I didn't like seeing her like that. Like,
and by that point I was getting tired because it was like 7:30 in the morning, and by the way, don't have any access to a clock.
Yeah, if you keep looking at it.
I had like an hour or two where I could see the clock, and it was the slowest hour.
Yeah. I wasn't even looking at the clock at that time.
It was on the computer screen behind me.
On the where the contractions were showing.
But so I got up onto my side, and then the contractions when I had the urge to push, I had to hold it back for a while, and that was the worst part.
When you want to push, you want to push. But then they checked her again, and she was at, what, 9.5?
Yeah. So they're like, just a little while longer, and by that point I was so shaky.
Yeah, I thought she was shaking from pain, like she was shaking. Like, you know how you get when you're cold, you're just like shaking, but her leg was shaking. I thought it was from the pain, but she was just weak, like, because she had no sleep. She hadn't eaten since, what, 8 o'clock the night before, and this was probably close to 9 o'clock. So, yeah, 12 hours without food, and she was just weak.
In hypnobirthing, you're not supposed to push, but I did.
Yeah, but so they, you know, they did a couple pushes for her and said just to get her, you know, Serenity going down, see, you know, where she was at and everything, and they did that. And I wasn't gonna look down there. Like, I had no desire to cut the cord. I had no desire to look. I'm just that kind of person. I just don't like to see that kind of stuff. But so the midwife was on one side holding her leg, and our friend was on the other holding her other leg, and they were just looking and everything, and they're like, "You want to see?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I caught a couple glances though. I looked and I was like, "No, look away." So she started pushing, and I was next to her, just, you know, wiping her head. She got so red and hot. Like, me and my mom was there too. Was just putting washcloths on her neck and her head because she was getting hot. So,
and I had to have our friend and our midwife holding my legs up because I was too tired. I couldn't hold them up myself. But once I finally got to push, it was so much better because by then you're so concentrated on pushing, you don't concentrate on the pain so much.
Yeah.
And then I had to have it's an episiotomy, right?
Episiotomy, yeah.
So
you're not, when you push, you're more likely to tear. So the doctor said, she's like, if you keep pushing like this, then you'll probably end up tearing. So do you want me to go ahead and cut you now, or do you want to risk the tear? And I was like, oof. Yeah, so we discussed it, and she's like, yeah, I just want to get cut because it's easier to sew up a straight line than a jagged.
Yeah, and I was so tired. I just wanted this. Kept saying, I just want this to be over.
Yeah, so she's tired. Like, you know, it'll take if you don't want to tear or anything, and it'll take probably 2 or 3 hours before, you know, just, you know, pushing her through. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, no, we'll just go ahead and do that. So she pushed. 45 minutes later, here comes little one. They put her up on her chest, and she was as mellow as can be. Not from, you know, anything going wrong, but just when you're doing hypnobirthing, they're just more.
I tried to relax as much as
possible.
I really, because there were a few things since my water had broke earlier in labor, I didn't want them to give me antibiotics, and I was very aware that I didn't want my heart rate to rise any more than it had to because I didn't want it to affect her, so I tried to keep myself as calm as possible.
Yeah, so they did that.
Because I was bound and determined not to have a C-section if there was anything I could do about it.
Yeah. So yeah, they put her on her chest because they're, you know, they do that bonding thing, but like for an hour beforehand, and
she whimpered a little bit, and then
she did whimper, and then she was just quiet. Like, it was amazing. She wasn't like drugged up or anything like from any of the drugs. She was just quiet.
Looking around.
She was alert. She was very alert. She was just looking around, and then they put her on her chest and they wiped her off and everything. And I cried like a baby. Like, I don't think anybody else in the room did, but I was crying. Tears were like coming down, and I was like overwhelmed with joy. And, you know, I already had this strong love for, you know, for her, and I didn't even know her yet. So I just felt that it was incredible. Like, I loved that. So yeah, we put her on her chest, and then they let her bond for a little bit. She latched like she was had been doing it for months. Yeah, exactly. So she did it. She's been breastfeeding her and everything. She latched. She weighed 6 pounds 11 ounces. She was 20 inches long. Her APGAR test was 8-9, which is awesome. Like, for how alert she was. Usually it's based out of 10, but they said that they never see baby get 10, but so she was an 8, 9, which was high up there. Nothing wrong. We left the next day like that. I mean, I wish we had more time to talk, but we only have a few minutes. But what else?
AKA that first night is hell.
Yeah.
Until your milk comes in if you're breastfeeding, because you only have the colostrum and the baby's stomach is like the size of a cherry. We're constantly breastfeeding and it hurts so bad.
Yeah, she tried putting her down, she'd cry, she'd put her on her chest. So you're constantly nursing that first night.
I didn't get any sleep until like the second or third day.
Yeah, so she was exhausted. But yeah, her milk finally came in and now she's like a waterfall, just you know, Serenity drowns every time she goes to nurse. But like she's like the perfect baby. Like she cries when she's uncomfortable, or you know, but she doesn't even cry to eat. Like,
well, we pay pretty close attention to her, and there's a book called The Secrets of the Baby Whisperer, which I recommend, and it helps you learn their cues for different things, such as if they're hungry or if they're overstimulated or tired. So I'm able to catch her cues before she gets too fussy.
But she's sleeping like 5 hours to 6 hours through the night and everything.
Yeah, last night she slept 6 hours.
And she doesn't even want to get up at that time. Like, Stephanie has to make her get up and eat. But she's like chillaxed and, you know, she's so happy. We got her picture of her smiling the other day. Like, she was on Christmas, actually. She smiled for us and we got a picture. Big. So, I will try putting that at the end of the video so you guys can see. But it was pretty cute. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I got my milk in on day 3, if that helps anybody. It does get better after those first couple of nights.
Her umbilical thing just fell off like half hour ago, so we saw that come off. And there was something else I want to say. I know there was a couple of you who are like worried that their wife's gonna like yell at them while they're in labor and everything, and that they're gonna feel left out and everything. With her, it wasn't like that at all. Like, she wanted me to hold her hand. She wanted me touching her. It was just, when you're doing hypnobirthing, it's so much different than when you're doing it the other way.
And I did like the hypnobirthing. I would do it again. I didn't do it perfectly. I kind of veered, especially at the end, but it did definitely make it manageable. And
that's the alarm?
No, that's your phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I would do it naturally just because she was so alert and
perfect.
She bonded it so well, and she latched really well. And
let's see if you guys can see her.
She was the camera and bring it closer.
All right, go ahead. But we'll show you quick. See, here's our baby. Say hi, Serenity. She's saying hi. Say hi.
She likes to do power to the people too.
Yes, power to the people. Hold on. Oh, she can't do it now. She's sleeping. But yeah, that's her. She's such a cutie. Like, look at all this hair. Everybody was surprised at how much hair she has, but yeah, she's perfect. Like, couldn't ask for a better baby. We are so blessed. Anything else you can think of that we were gonna say? Anything that they have to remember to bring to the hospital?
Don't think so.
If you guys have any questions at all, like, just let us know. As far as the labor went and everything, I know I wasn't as on my game. Like, she was asking me if I was okay when she was in labor, because I was like, I don't handle situations like that very well, especially seeing her in pain and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. Say bye, Serenity. Say bye.